Alright, we're going to have a Terran versus Zerg now on Daybreak. So I'm going to show you guys something possibly a little bit different this game. Alright, start the SCV. Good luck, have fun. Good luck, have fun. So Daybreak is a pretty big map. You can do a couple more greedy things on it. So what I'm going to show you guys this game is going to be a little bit of a two-base play. In case you guys are fans of Pult at all, this is going to be a two-base Marauder, Hellion, Marine timing attack. So the map is large enough that we can go for a greedy command center first play, but also be safe against a possible fast spawning pool like we saw in the last game. So we're going to build our supply depot at the wall, and we're going to go for a 14 supply command center. So if you guys like command center first builds, this is the build for you. So we're just going to queue up SCVs. This build can have a wall up in time to defend against a 6-pool attack, so there's no real need to fear or worry about your opponent bringing any level of early aggression to you, at least off of one base. So we're just going to queue up SCVs, and yeah, so now basically once you hit 14 supply, you're not going to build more SCVs, you're going to build your command center, and then you're going to build one more SCV. So to demonstrate, let's just take a quick look here. So now I'm at 14 supply. I have an SCV in production. I'm not going to queue another one just yet. At 300 minerals, though, I'm going to bring an SCV down towards my ramp, and I'm going to build a command center. Now, it's very important to place it properly so that it walls off. You just fit it in like it's a Tetris block. Now, nothing can actually move past that gap, and I'm going to queue up another SCV. So his drone's going to come and find my base. I'm going to use one SCV to attack the drone and keep it away from my SCVs. And now I'm going to pull an SCV to go and build my barracks to wall off. Typically, I wouldn't chase a drone like this with an SCV, but in lower leagues, it's very easy to lose SCVs to harassment workers. So I'm just going to poke away at that drone. And now I'm going to bring out another SCV to go and scout out his base. So you lower that supply depot. I have a wall off. You actually can't get across this. It's a pretty nice wall, and of course it's a bit more strong against banelings because it's a command center and a barracks. So my SCV is going to be sent over to the opponent's base. I've got his drone. There's actually what you can mineral walk to escape this sort of situation. Yeah, and he's going to do that. I might use some high-level tactics to get the last hit on this drone, though. But, okay, so now my SCV, things I'm looking for, of course, are going to be that gas plate again. You stop making SCVs at 18 supply so that you don't get supply blocked when you build a Marine. And, yeah, that's it. You just make 2 orbital commands once your barracks is done. So I see he went for a fast hatchery, which is pretty standard. He has a spawning pool. He has gas. So he could be going for a fast roach play. He could be going for a fast baneling play. But, he's going to steal my second gas, and that's totally fine. So my response to this now, I'm going to add on 2 more barracks. Now I'm going to take a gas. So it's a little bit different than I was intending to do it, but he jumped on one of my gas geysers. So now I'm going to use my Marine. I'm going to kill off that drone. So if he decides to go for some kind of really, really aggressive play, I want to make sure I have proper defenses set up. So I'm going to start my first bunker. I'm going to put it tucked in away in a position where it's going to be very, very difficult for my opponent to hit it with Zerglings once I build a wall. So now I move my command center down. I'm actually going to bring another SCV over here to cover that. And I like doing these bio openers because it's just a lot easier than trying to micro Hellions. Hellions can be strong, but it's very easy to accidentally pay too much attention to them, and then you can end up basically harassing yourself. So we're going to need another supply depot as well. We're getting close to being blocked, but our wall is about to finish, so it's not as big of a deal. We're going to build a tech lab, and now I see he has some Zerglings on the field. It's not a huge deal. Marines go inside the bunker, and they can hit Zerglings attacking this supply depot, so it's not a huge issue. We're going to finish off our wall, adding on a couple of more supply depots so that basically any Zerglings can't just run right past and try to go into our main base. It's also important to finish the wall in the main as well. So I'm going to actually do that stim opening again. This because it's a lot easier to defend against timing attacks with Mutalisks by opening stim packs. So I'm going to kill these plates too. You don't need to. I just like to kill them. So we're going to build another supply depot on the inside of this wall here, just so we can kind of finish blocking it off. I don't know if he's going roaches, so with the tech lab that's researching stim, I'm going to use that barracks to produce a marauder. And the role of the marauder is solely for defending against possible roach play. So now I'm also going to add on that engineering bay and factory. You'll notice I'd like to get those at the same time. Getting an engineering bay too early, you can end up getting your upgrades before you can afford an armory. So now that we have that factory going, we're going to get our third gas. Continuing to add on those supply depots. They're very, very, very important. And here he has some Zerglings prepared for an attack. I don't know exactly how much he has, so I'm going to move some of these units to try to shove them away. Going to send an SCV over to try to scout out what exactly could be coming from him. I don't see any units here, but I want to go to the tower. I want to make 100% sure. And he does have the Zergling speed upgrade. He has an Overlord coming as well. Not a huge deal. Lots of players send Overlords to scout, so... Alright. Now I have my factory, so I'm going to build a starport, get my reactor as well, and I'm going to add on 2 reactors like I did in the last game. So it could also be Mutalisks. Once again, we're going to get a missile turret at each base. Keep in mind, we want to get these missile turrets up before the 9-minute mark. This way our opponent can't have Mutalisks out to harass us. And now that we are set up defensively, we can set up a 3rd command center. So it's always important to look into having these types of setups available. And I'm not going for the 2-base timing because what he had set up looked like it was also going to be a timing attack. So since he did open up with the gas, I wanted to play a little bit more economically, just because it's gonna make dealing with kinds of baneling attacks much easier by opening up with a lot of bio. So I'm going to finish walling this off, and once my medevacs are out, it can start to get a little bit aggressive. If I really want to know what he's doing, I can scan him. I'm not super scared because I have defenses for most anything set up. This sort of bio play can be vulnerable to certain levels of baneling play, but if you have enough units out, it's not as difficult to deal with. Continuing to build these supply depots. So now one of my attack upgrades is about to complete, so I'm going to add on that engineering bay and that armory. And now that my 3rd command center and my 4th and 5th barracks are coming in, I'm going to start my 4th gas. Constantly remembering, of course, build supply depots constantly. Queuing up SCVs is totally fine. It makes sure that you're always building them. And if you ever need to use a supply drop, that's also completely fine. Contrary to popular belief, supply drops do not cost you a mule. If you look at it this way, a supply depot takes 30 seconds to build, or 30 seconds to build. So if you build a supply depot and you're supply blocked, you're not building anything for basically half a minute. So the best way to get your economy going again, by building more workers, by building up more army supply, is to go for a supply drop. It's almost like having a warp in available. So what I'm going to do is send out a drop, and I'm going to scout with the drop play. He could have Mutalisks on the field, but I'm going to move out and check the front of my base. I can see he has this Overlord here, so I'm going to use my Marines to kill that, and I'm going to place these widow mines in somewhat of a scouting position. I want to place one by the tower, and I want to place one by this ramp. And by putting the widow mines here, if he comes out to put any kind of harass onto me or attack me, I'm going to be aware of that. So now, continuing to put out units. We have our armory, so just continuing to add units on. We're going to add on 2 barracks, and like I said, I'm going to get supply blocked a little bit here, but as you can see, being able to immediately make units is much, much better than having 400 extra minerals, because if those minerals can't become units, why do you need minerals anyway if you can't build anything? So I'm going to drop him in his main base right now. You can have units drop out of a medevac while moving by pressing D to drop and then clicking on the medevac itself. So he has roaches and mutalisks, and he's going to catch my drop here. And now that I know he has a lot of roaches, I'm going to try to make sure that when I get up extra barracks that I go for a really, really big count of tech labs. I'm also going to add on some missile turrets as well to make sure that he's not going to be able to deal any damage to me with these mutalisks. So we're going to continue to add widow mines and medevacs. We're going to continue to build supply depots. And we're going to start SCV production for our third base, which is now on the way to land. Some other things you can do to keep yourself safe. You can set up walls, you can put bunkers at your expansions. He does have a lot of roaches. Roaches are very, very strong, but I'm going to add on these 2 tech labs. I already have a lot of reactors on my barracks, and with these supply depots finishing, I'm going to be perfectly fine to go back to mining. It appears to have an overlord over there, so I'm just going to send a medevac. Continuing to build mines. I'm going to build more turrets in my main base because I am a little bit cautious about him going for any kind of super fast Mutalisk attack. And now he's going to move some Zerglings into my third base, but I have units here to defend. It's not a big deal. I can put a wall in front of these bunkers if I want to, and just to demonstrate what that would look like. You might have seen Polt do this quite a bit. That one's actually a bit too far. So basically, just building a nice wall. If he goes and tries to use Banelings to break it, then he will not be able to actually kill the units that are defending your base. So now that that is secure, I'm going to move my army away. I built up a lot of Marine Marauder. I have a good number of mines as well. I have medevacs, and just to make it a bit more realistic for you guys, I'm putting everything on one hotkey. I see the Mutalisks are coming, so what I'm going to do is now continue to press forward, but I want to be aware of where he is on the map. So you're going to see me put my widow mines basically wherever I can spot anything coming to attack me. And of course, we follow up with the 3-2 upgrades. And now the third base is relatively safe. It's not under really any threat. Drop some mules. And we're a little bit oversaturated at the main base. So I'm going to pull some SCVs over there. Take these gas geysers and now collect all my forces together. So at this point, we can start to get really aggressive. I have map vision. I have an idea of where he is most of the time. I'm going to scan forward so I can spot for burrowed banelings or creep tumors. And now I see his Mutalisks. I'm not afraid to push forward. Oh, my medevacs are not with my army. Silly me. And yeah, so just kind of pressing forward. You'll notice I'm saving a lot of my energy on my orbital command. So okay, so he's gone for Locust as his choice. When you're playing with biological units, swarm hosts are not really that strong just because Bio has so much DPS it can kill the Locust rather quickly. He's going to press forward and try to do some damage, but you also have to take into account that Bio has more range than Locust. So now I'm going to move forward, and basically I'm just going to scan whenever I can. I'm going to pull my Marines behind my Marauders so that when the Banelings attack, they only blow up on them. And now I'm just going to kill all of his swarm hosts. And he should be able to clean this up, so I'm just going to run away. I'm going to get inside of my medevacs, and I'm going to boost back home. So behind this, of course, I've been producing units, so I have more army ready. And I'm trying to play as slowly as I can just to give a better simulation if you have a little bit of problems getting your production going. But I'm going to add on some more barracks, a 4th base. We can get a 2nd factory for the drilling claws upgrade for the widow mines, but it's important to keep in mind that the mines are, of course, in a pretty solid position to cover against most of the play that our opponent can go for. We're going to try to get aggressive again since we do have the mines to cover for us. So now pressing forward with a couple more units. Medevacs are doing just fine. I want to wait until I have some scans, though. We have one available. Let's wait for that 2nd scan. It's going to be about 10 seconds. And we're waiting for the next scan because what we want to do is be able to just kill him if he has more swarm hosts. That last fight that I took, it was very, very difficult. So I'm also going to load up a drop and basically just queue it to go over to him. I see he has more locust. He has quite a few swarm hosts, actually. So this is a really scary army. I don't want to directly engage this just yet. Maybe try to pick away at some of it. I'm going to leave my Marauders to fight, pull my Marines back, just try to split them up a little bit amongst these Banelings. He won't be able to get full hits, and we're going to be able to take care of this. No really big deal. The Zerglings, though, with the Locust support, are going to make me fall back, so I don't want to completely commit to fighting this because these are free units. They're pretty scary to deal with sometimes, and well, now we've got more units prepared. We're going to add on the tech lab to our 2nd factory. We're going to take our 4th base now. So, and we're just going to continue to build units as we can afford to. So, Now our drop has also hit the main base. We forced him to pull his units back, and this also delays him by causing him to pull units to defend. So now his Zerglings are out of position. I just want to blow through these locusts as fast as I can and go for a follow-up attack onto his units. So now he's going to try to kill me. But if we look at the upgrades, though, the Zerglings are 2-2. I'm 3-3. I'm keeping the Marines behind the Marauders because the Marauders have more natural armor. This allows them to tank damage a lot more effectively. And as long as I'm killing a lot of these units, I'm fine. So I've kind of recognized that the way that he's using his Locust, and I'm going to put a planetary fortress on this command center with some missile turrets to keep it safe from any harass. But I've kind of recognized that he's using his Locust to defend just this position. So ideally for me, I want to put on pressure from a different angle. And that's exactly what I'm going to do now. I'm going to bring my Marine Marauder force over towards the top side of the map and work my way around. Now, of course, I'm going to keep my rally point at my third, so that at my fourth base, so that I don't have to worry about him going for any kind of really fast, any kind of big counterattack play with these Mutalisks, which he is doing. So now we have these Widowmines are going to get caught by some Banelings, but he doesn't see exactly where my whole army is. I'm going to check here for an expansion. It doesn't look like there is one. Yeah, there's no creep. He just built a hatchery here, and these Locusts have a timed amount of life, so it's hard for him to harass me with them. And now I'm just going to move in, scan ahead, see what he has. He doesn't have any of his army positioned, but before I engage, I want to put all my Marauders in front, all of my Marines in the back. This way the Marauders can take the hits from all of the Banelings. So I just control-click my Marines. I'm going to box them into small groups and spread them around, stim forward, and try to keep my Marines behind my forces at all times. This way, he can't get a good engagement. And then, of course, behind this, we want to build more actual units. And he has a lot of Swarm Host here, but I'm just not going to engage them. So, you see, stepping backwards now. I don't have to fight them. He has to unburrow the Swarm Host if he wants to follow me with the Locust. So, we move forward towards his third base. We see, okay, scan, kill some creep tumors. We're going to kill this hatchery now. And remember, keep producing units at home. Always produce units at home. It's very easy to get preoccupied in what you're doing. I'm going to scan up. I see he's bringing Zerglings over. He has some more Banelings, and he's actually building Broodlords. So I think in these kinds of situations, scouting isn't as important in terms of high-tech decisions, largely because a good amount of macro will get you the units that you need to deal with this anyway. But my solution will be to just add on a couple of starports. So not a big deal. Marines work pretty effectively versus this. I've hurt his economy pretty significantly, so even though he has Broodlords out, he can't afford to make a lot of them. I'm still going to make Medevacs, I'm still going to make Widowmines, and I'm still just going to continue to press my economy forward very slowly. So the important thing about putting on constant pressure is, as long as you're continuously attacking your opponent, you'll always know what they have, because I made that attack and I saw the Broodlords. It's much different than just waiting for him to attack me with a lot of Broodlords. So now I've hurt his economy. It's hard for him to get the Broodlord count up, and all he really has are a handful of them anyway. So now my extra starports are complete. We're going to begin to add on Vikings, and since I'm not going for a siege tank based composition, I don't have to worry as much about splash damage. Widowmines can do a little bit of splash, but it's not enough to really worry about it. So I'm going to scan. I see he's got about 4 Broodlords. Not a big deal. I want to deny the space. Not able to. Oh well, it's not that bad. So now I'm going to step forward with my army. He wants to break down these rocks. I will gladly meet him halfway and engage this force. So as long as I'm continuing to produce Vikings, I'm going to have a lot of anti-air available to handle this force. So I want to try to move these Widowmines somewhere where they won't hurt my bio if the Broodlings cause the splash to happen. So we're going to engage the Viking sword. I'm bringing them against the Corruptors. So basically just killing down all of these now, and I just have so much more than him that I'm able to just run up and kill this off pretty easily. So this is just another example of one of the ways that you can kind of deal with engagements in Terran versus Zerg. I personally don't scout a terrible amount because I like to be aggressive, and as long as you're being aggressive, you can see what he has. I was aggressive and tried to attack him with my stim packs. That's how I found out he had the Swarm Host. And then I went around the Swarm Host, and I was able to find out that he had Broodlord. So apart from just chasing him, in case there are Banelings, I want to scan because burrowed banelings can be quite a nuisance, especially for lower level players. And, well, we've managed to secure the destruction of the 4th again. We're going to kill off the natural, and there's the GG from our Zerg opponent. So, just another game in this Bronze to Masters series. Another TVZ just showing you a very, very simple, methodical way to take decision making in the game to the next level. He was going to switch into Ultralisk, but the other cool thing is it doesn't even matter because we're already building Marines and Marauders and Widowmines, which is the ideal composition that you want to have. Largely a lot of Marauders, but all of these Tech Lab barracks really allowed us to be prepared for anything that he could throw at us.